Thiruchitrambalam, Hara Hara Nama Parvati, Badaye, Hara Hara Mahadeva, Sitsabesa, Sivasidambaram, Tenarve Sivane, Putri, and not our Kumireva, Putri, Thiruchitrambalam, Idakum Makadai in the Merchayula, in Adakum Mainmay, Namakarul Sedida, Tadakai, Indudai, Tal Sevi, Nilmudi, Kadakalichai, Karutul Rituvam, Lagala Munandu, Odakariavan. நிலவுலாவிய நிர்மலி வேணியன் அலகில் சோதியன் அம்பலத்து ஆடுவான் மலர் சிலம்படி வாழ்த்தி வணங்குவாம் சைவத்தின் மேற்சமயம் வேரிலை அதில் சார் சிவமாம் தெய்வத்தின் மேற் தெய்வம் இல்லனும் நான்மறை செம்பொருள் வாய்மை வைத்த சீர் திருத்தேவாரமும் திருவாசகமும் உய்வை தரச் செய்த நால்வர் பொற்றாள் எம்முயிர் துணையே தில்லைவாழந்தனரை முதலாக சீர்படைத்த தொல்லையதாம் திருத்தொண்ட தொகைடியார் பதம் போற்றி உலையவர் புராணகதை உலகறிய விரித்து உரைத்த செல்வமலி குன்றத்தூர் செக்கிழாரடி போற்றி ஆதாரமாகிய மாணிக்க வாசகர் பாதார விந்தம் பணிவோம் பண்டு செய்த தீதான பாவங்கள் எல்லாம் தீர்ந்து ஞானோதயம் வந்து கூடிடுமே திருச்சிற்றம்பலம். Dear devotees, welcome back to the Periyapuranam Discourse series. With the blessings of the Almighty Lord Shiva, we are here to think through the wonderful history of 3 Nayanmars today. Let me bow my head to the lotus feet of David Chekla Swamigal and also to the 57th Pontiff of Kunampati Kalyanapuri Adina, Sri Guru Mahasannidhanam, Sri Rajasravana Manikva Siva Swamigal as well. By the grace of the Almighty Lord Shiva, let's go ahead and get started. So currently we are thinking through the Nayanmars in Kadal Sunda section. So far we have covered Kadavar Gunakalachina Nayanar and also Idangaliya Nayanar in the previous session. So today we are going to cover Srimad Seruthunai Nayanar, Srimad Pugazhthunaiyar Nayanar and Srimad Koatpuli Nayanar. So we're going to talk about Seruthunai Nayanar now. Nayanar was from Tanjore. All of us know Tanjore, famous place in Tamil Nadu. Seruthunaiyar was born there in the family of farmers. By birth, he was fearless to the core, and he was a staunch devotee of Lord Shiva. He would spare no one who commits a mistake in the services to Lord Shiva or even to Shiva devotee. If someone makes a mistake due to their ignorance, but still he would be severely warned and punished by Nayanar. That's his service to Lord Shiva. Nayanar has already offered his body, belongings, and whole life in serving Lord Shiva and his devotees. He went to Thiruvarur and Nayanar started doing flower services to Lord Shiva. He will pluck flowers and he will make garlands to Thiruvarur, Puchidangunda, Peruman, and also Asaleshwara Swamigal. One fine day, Nayanar was doing his service in Asaleshwara temple. If you may recall, we covered this history a little bit in Kadavargon, Kalachinga Nayanar history as well. Kadavargon Kalachinga Nayanar, who was the king of Pallava kingdom, along with his queen, he came to worship the Lord of Thiruvarur, Sri Puchidangunda Peruman. And he was worshipping Lord Shiva, Puchidangunda Peruman, and his wife, the queen, was going around the temple. And then she came to visit Asaleshwara temple. There's another temple within Thiruvarur, which is called Asaleshwara Thiruvarur Aranari. It has got a separate Devarahi as well from Tirunavakara Swami. So, one fine day, he was sitting down with many of the devotees, sat in the Sannidhi of Asaleshwara, making garlands with a heap of fresh flowers. You could still see that kind of a table made by stone where Seruthunaiyar offered his services to Lord Shiva. Even now, if you ever go to Thiruvarur, do make sure that you visit Thiruvarur Aranari temple. You could see the statues of Dandirial Naminandiyadigal in the same temple, and Seruthunai Nayanar, Kadarkun Kalachinga Nayanar, and also his wonderful queen Sangha Devi as well. So right now, Kalachinga Nayanar came to worship the Lord of the Varu. He was in the Sannidhi of Puranam. The king stood rooted to the spot and was praying with ecstasy to the Lord. But the queen went on and saw the devotees making the garlands in Asaleshwara temple. The sight and smell of the heap of fresh flowers fascinated the queen, but still she did not go near the flowers where they were making garland. There was another flower dropped on the floor that will not be used for any garlands. She picked up that flower and just out of curiosity, she just smelled it. Cheruthunai Nayanar noticed that. So Cheruthunai Nayanar and other devotees got wild with rage. How could she do this? Yes, it's a sin. You can't do that. So immediately, Cheruthunai Nayanar pulled the hair of the queen and pushed her down on the ground and chopped off the tip of her nose for smelling the flower meant to be offered to Lord Shiva. This may sound odd to some of you if you don't understand what would happen if you make a Shiva Bachara, if you make any sin, make mistakes in services to Lord Shiva. It will go like it will continue to grow like a big tree. We will never be able to get rid of it. So it has to be corrected and fixed then and there. That's what Nayanar did. That's what we have seen in Kalikamba Nayanar Puranam. We've seen this. We're gonna see the same in Koatpuli Nayanar Puranam. Any sin, Eripathanayanar did the same. Any harm to Shiva devotees, he would just punish them. And Sakti Nayanar did the similar service. So he was fearless. And he just did it. He didn't even care about whether she's a queen or as a normal woman. He just punished. And if it had been someone else also, any human being committed that mistake would have got the same punishment from Cheruthunai Nayanar. And then the queen fell down on the ground. She literally fainted. She was shocked. And the pain inflicted on her, the blood was bleeding like anything. Then she was screaming. Hearing that sound, the king rushed to Asaleshwara temple. Kadarkun Kalachinga Nayanar was running towards Asaleshwara temple, and he came to the spot and saw his queen had fainted and full of blood everywhere. He demanded in great anger, "Who the hell did this atrocity to my wife?" Cheruthunai Nayanar came forward boldly. The moment he saw the Tiruveda Vibhuti and Rudraksham, the king calmed down and said, "What did she do? Why did you punish her in this manner?" Nayanar said, "The queen smelled a flower which was meant to be offered for Lord Shiva Asaleshwara. She did it before it could be offered to him. That flower can no longer be offered. This is Shiva's flower. How can she use that?" But the king now asked, "If so, she must have picked up the flower first and then smelled it. You just chopped off her nose. What about her hand? Why did you not cut off the hand that picked the flower first? The hand should be punished first before the nose." Then the queen already fainted and crying with pain. But Kalachinga Nayanar just cut off the hand of his queen mercilessly. The bystanders were both awestruck, shocked, scared by the intensity of the love for Shiva shown by both Seruthunai Nayanar and Kalachinga Nayanar. Then Lord Shiva and Parvati Devi appeared immediately, took the pity on the queen and eased her pain and suffering, and restored the cut off parts and blessed Seruthunai Nayanar and Kadarkun Kalachinga Nayanar. So Nayanar continued to do his service in Asaleshwara temple for a long, long time. Then one fine day, Nayanar reached the lotus feet of Lord Shiva. That's all about Nayanar history. Let's always remember the intense love Nayanar had for Lord Shiva, and also he did not spare anybody, no matter, even it was queen, when they make mistakes. All right, the next Nayanar we're going to cover in this class today is the great Pugazhthunaiyar. Pugazhthunaiyar. Pugazhthunaiyar was born in a place called Puttur, Arasirkarai Puttur. Such a wonderful temple. You could see Arasirkarai Puttur from on the way from Kumbakonam to Thiruvarur. Such a great temple. We also have Narayu Sitthicharam nearby. Nayanar was a staunch Shiva devotee, and also he came from Adiseva community, Archakar family. So when we say Adiseva community, the community is authorized by the Almighty Lord Shiva to touch Lord Shiva and other vigrahas in the temple, and do services to them. We will cover that in depth when we go through Muppodum Tirumeni Tinduvar Puranam. So Nayanar was from Adiseva community, and he was doing pujas in Arasirkarai Puttur temple. So he had literally established Lord Shiva and Panchaksharam in his heart. He was doing the 6 Kala Puja every day in the temple with intense love. During all of a sudden, a severe drought affected that country. People struggled to find enough food. There was no rain. So they were literally starving. And then most of the people left the place one by one and went in all directions in search of food. Almost all of them left Arasirkarai Puttur, but Pugazhthunaiyar decided to stay on there due to his intense love for Shiva. He didn't want to leave Shiva alone. Who would do the puja for Shiva? So he continued worshipping Lord Shiva as usual, but no food, no water. One day, Pugazhthunaiyar was performing Abhishekam to Shivlinga, and he was holding water in a pot and coming to Garbhagriha, and then he felt very weak, famished, and he just dropped the water pot over Shivlinga itself, and then he fell down. He fainted. He lost his consciousness. Fortunately, he had a vivid dream at that time. Lord Shiva appeared in his dream and said, "Most of the people left this place, but you did not go, thinking that I will be alone and you need to take care of me. I am pleased to see your intense love for me. So I will protect you and provide you with the food you need. I am going to give you a gold coin on the pita, temple pita, every day till the rains return and till the rains and prosperity return." Then immediately Nayanar woke up. He was very excited, and then he went to the pita and he could see the gold coin offered by Lord Shiva. Then he continued to worship Lord Shiva as before. He got enough of food that he needs to survive. Even when there prevailed a severe drought, Pugazhthunaiyar did not move away from this place and continued to serve the Lord. That's why the Lord gifted him with a gold coin. So Lord continued to give him the gold coin every day. The drought, everything, then it started raining, the prosperity returned, life back to normal. Then Lord Shiva stopped giving coins to Pugazhthunaiyar. Nayanar continued to worship Shiva for a long time, and then one fine day he merged with the lotus feet of Lord Shiva. That's all about Pugazhthunaiyar history. The third Nayanar we're going to talk about today is the great Koatpuliyar. Koatpuliyar, the moment we say Koatpuliyar, you may remember when we were going through the great Ergun Kalikama Nayanar history, we talked about Koatpuli Nayanar as well. Nayanar was from Natiyatangudi city. He had two great daughters, Singedi and Vanapage. He offered them to Sri Sundaramurti Swamigal when Sundaramurti Swamigal came to visit Koatpuli Nayanar. Sundaramurti Swamigal adopted his two daughters as Koatpuli Nayanar daughters as his daughters and took them with him. So his daughters were blessed enough to be with Sundaramurti Swamigal always. So we're going to talk about what Koatpuli Nayanar did for Lord Shiva. So he was born in the race of Velalar community in Chola's kingdom, and he was an army general in Chola's kingdom. He was as brave, he was very brave and ferocious in warfare as a tiger. His Nayanar was also a staunch devotee. That's the first thing. He was a staunch devotee of Lord Shiva. He did many welfare activities towards Shiva temple and Shiva devotees. He loved to serve Lord Shiva devotees, and also he had a lot of katalai, what we say in Tamil. So he had arranged a fund and paddy to continue the pujas in Shiva temple. So he heaped paddy like a mountain. It was entirely for offering to Shiva. He used to keep that all the time. He'll be offering them to many Shiva temples. And one day a call came from the king, said, Koatpuli Nayanar, you should return to our palace. We're going on a war with another king. So Nayanar had to go to a war front. Then he called all his relatives and said, you see this mountain of paddy I have saved for Lord Shiva temple. Please take care of them. No one is allowed to consume even one single paddy from this. And if you do that, so on the name of Lord Shiva, I swear you would make the biggest sin of your life. He warned them. So he asked them to protect the paddy until he returns. He locked the door and handed over the key to his relatives. Then he left for war. When after Koatpuli Nayanar left, a severe drought again affected the country. People found it so hard to get enough food. They even started changing the food. The vegetarian people became non-vegetarian to survive. The relatives of Koatpuli Nayanar assumed that no other option. The infants are starving. He wouldn't get angry if we use up heap the paddy during the severe drought, and then we will fill it back. We'll backfill once the prosperity returns. So they started talking about the paddy for their personal use regularly. So, but he made it very clear those paddy were saved for Lord Shiva temple, not for personal use. They started consuming paddy every day. It became empty. The Nayanar won the war, defeated the enemies. He returned after emerging victory. Then he came to know that his relatives consumed all the paddy he saved for Lord Shiva. Despite he set the expectation, he made it very clear to them it would be the biggest sin they could ever make. He got terribly shocked to find the paddy saved for Shiva temple had been consumed by his own relatives. Then he decided to punish them all. He's not going to spare anyone. But he did not show his anger. He kept a smiling face and informed them and told them, hey, I would have bought a lot of gifts and clothes from the king for winning the war. I'm going to distribute that all among all of you. So all of you come down to that room. I'm going to distribute the gifts to you, each of you. And they got excited. Wow, great. We thought he'd be angry, but he's okay. He accepted. Probably he understood that there's no other choice. It's okay. It's allowed for personal consumption. They entered the room, and then with the same, Nayanar had a god, and his name is also Koatpuli. He said, Koatpuli, Secure the door. No one should be allowed to escape through the door. Secure the door. All of them were inside, he said. Then all of them gathered. They're waiting for prizes, gifts. He said, how dare you, all of you, consume the paddy I saved for Lord Shiva? Do you think I'm going to give you prize for the sin you made? I'm not going to spare any of you. I'm going to kill all of you. Nayanar killed everyone in that room, including infants. I'm going to read out the Periyapuranam phrase from Nayanar Puranam. Thiruchitrambalam says, Tandayar, Tayar, Mattu Udan Pirandar, Tarangal, Bandamar, Sutratar, Padyadiyar, Madyaniyum, Yendayar, Tirupadi Mattu Unnai Sendargalaim, Sinda Valgudu Tunitar, Thivinayin Payan Tulipar. His mother, his parents, father and mother, brothers and sisters, blood relations, his wives. At that time, they had multiple wives and all relatives. He killed every single of them. He did not spare anybody. And at last, there was one infant left, Koatpuliyar, about to kill that infant as well. Then the god came. He did not eat that paddy. My lord, he said, if you can just leave that kid alone. But Koatpuliyar said that was the kid of Koatpuliyar, his kid. But he told the god, that kid, the kid sucked the milk of its mother, who consumed this rice. So the sin got transferred to the kid through her mother. So it needs to be punished as well. Think about it, sure, devotees. Think about it. This is what we learn from Periyapuranam. If someone has made money through improper way, adharma, in the way of adharma, and if you go to his house and you eat food, that means you share the sin with him. Whatever sin he earned, you're going to share that with him. That's why we always go to Guru Mat, Lord Shiva devotee's house to have food. And when you eat that food, that was earned through dharma, proper way, you get punya, you get pain. Here you get sin. So that's why Nayanar punished that infant as well. Immediately, Lord Shiva came up and he appeared in front of him and said, all the people who have been killed by you, your relatives, have escaped from the samsara life, the endless birth and death cycle. I have sent them all to my Shivaloka. You also come and merge with me in Shivaloka. Then Lord Shiva took Koatpuliyar along with him and went back to Shivaloka. That's all about Shri Koatpuliyar history. Let's close the session for tonight. Thiruchitrambalam. என்றும் இன்பம் பெருகும் இயல்பினா ஒன்று காதலித்து உள்ளம் ஓங்கிட மன்றுளார் அடியார் அவர் வான்புகழ் நின்றது எங்கும் நிலவி உலகலாம். திருச்சிற்றம்பலம். ஹர ஹர நம பார்வதி பதையே ஹர ஹர மகாதேவா. சிற்சபேசா சிவசிதம்பரம் தென்னாருடைய சிவனே போற்றி, என் நாட்டவர்க்கும் இறைவா போற்றி. திருச்சிற்றம்பலம். எம்பிரான் புகழ்த்துணை நாயனார் மலரடிகள் போற்றி போற்றி. எம்பிரான் கோட்புலி நாயனார் மலரடிகள் போற்றி போற்றி. எம்பிரான் செருத்துணை நாயனார் மலரடிகள் போற்றி போற்றி. திருச்சிற்றம்பலம்.